Hi, I'm David Fleming from the Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we're focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now, we're studying about the wilderness journey as the Lord leads the Israelites out of Egypt, takes them to the Red Sea, and then through the wilderness into the Promised Land. Now, this week we're studying about the Israelites facing the Red Sea. And one thing that I wanted to point out today is the fact that as soon as the Israelites leave Egypt, there the Lord is leading them, which he is going to do for the next 40 some odd years that it's going to take to get them to the Promised Land. How did he do this? Well, it's told to us in Exodus chapter 13, verses 21 and 22. Let me read that to you. By day the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could travel by day or night. Neither the pillar of cloud by day nor the pillar of fire by night left its place in front of the people. Oh, this passage is so full of content. First of all, we see that the Lord has chosen to use something that is rather natural in which to reveal his presence. I mean, there is the Lord's glorious presence in front of the Israelites that is going to be there 24/7 for the next 40 some odd years, leading them, guiding them day by day. But yet the Lord is not only revealing his presence, but he is using something natural to hide his presence. Why does he do that? Because he is always seeking to cause us to have a relationship with him by faith. We know that Jesus said, "Lo, I'm with you always. I'll never leave you nor forsake you." But yet, we're following him by faith, not by feelings. But if we are anything like the Israelites, or if the Israelites are like us, it probably was not too long before the Israelites started taking that pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night for granted. I mean, it was there all the time. And so after a week or so, it probably lost its amazement. But does that mean that the Lord was no longer present? Does that mean that the Lord was no longer leading them? No, it just means that their attitude, their perception probably was no longer the way it should have been. That is the same way with us. The Lord has called us to follow him by faith, not by feelings. What happens when the Lord comes into our midst and reveals himself gloriously? Well, we just bask in his presence, and we are amazed at his majesty and grandeur and glory and holiness. But when our perception of his presence loses that sense, does that mean that he is no longer with us? No. It just means that now we just need to accept his presence by faith. That's it. You see, he is always seeking to lead us and guide us, not by giving us spiritual goosebumps, but by causing us to hear his voice, which is speaking to us spirit to spirit, and causing us to have a relationship with him by faith. So don't take that which the Lord has done in your life. Don't take his presence for granted. Don't take what he's doing in you and through you for granted. But be amazed by it still. The Lord is with you. Whether you see him, feel him, or not, his glory, his presence, his power is with you. Give him praise. We'll talk again tomorrow.